Yo, yo, yo.
What's up, folks? We're back with you for episode 11 of Top Picks. It's your boy AJ 5000.
Would you always be Kawhi Rivera?
Damn. Yo, shout out the Lake Show and the Clip Show. They opened it up tonight. Got Kawhi sitting next to me, so I don't know if the Clips have a chance.
Right.
But it's a big day in sports, low key. It's opening night of the NBA. It's a weird season too because it's a late opening day, but with how late the last season ended, it's early to a lot of the players.
Super early.
What do you think about that?
Honestly, I think they started too early, but at the same time, it's just like it's never going to be like normal for a while. So I mean, might as well start it up. Try to get back to a sense of normalcy.
They have to like keep inching closer every year to make it regular.
Try to like slowly get back to the regular starting date.
It sucks because definitely puts teams that were in the playoffs at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Or even teams in the bubble like the Suns, they had to play extra.
Well, like the Lakers only had like a 72-day off season. It's like 2.5 months.
And then teams like the Warriors, like
missed the headline.
I think the Warriors had like a 236.
Yeah.
And it sucks. I don't think the Warriors are contenders this year because they lost Clay.
Definitely not.
But I mean, it's just still
like the
unfair.
playoffs.
Yeah, the West is still tough.
I think like a 5 through 8 seed.
What do you think about the Rockets? Think John Wall adds anything to them?
I think he does.
Yeah?
I think he does.
You think they'll get rid of Harden?
I don't think
like throughout the course of this year?
I think it'll get so ugly that they'll have to.
Yeah.
Like
not even worth keeping him?
Right. I heard like that rumor that he threw a ball at a rookie.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's just like
I think he's just trying to force his way out.
Yeah, like it's almost like he's like trying to get a divorce, Mm-hmm. Like he doesn't even want this marriage to work out.
It's like if a husband, he just purposely like tries to get caught cheating on his wife so she'll leave him.
Right, exactly. He doesn't want to go out and be like, I want to be traded now. Like say it like live to everyone. Mm-hmm. But I feel like he's gonna hint it as much as possible.
Why do you think it got so ugly between them?
I think he's just kinda like, fuck this. Like I've been trying this for like way too long. Like I need a win now, wasting my prime years.
Well,
it's just like oh, they keep getting him pieces, but they keep getting him like the same kind of pieces. They got him what? They start off with Chris Paul, didn't work, point guard.
Well, even if you go back, they got Dwight, and he's he? He's a solid defender, paint scorer. They had Capella, who was the same type of player. He was just younger. And like you said, they got Chris Paul, they got Westbrook,
and now they got John Wall, and he's kind of like, oh, this is the same shit again.
It's ball-dominant guards.
Exactly, the same shit again. That's not going to work.
What do you think Harden needs to be successful in the team?
What I think Harden needs is he needs to change his own game.
That's what I think. He'll never be the best player on a championship team.
No, definitely not. I think he needs to accept he can be the best player, but he doesn't have co-best players. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He can't be like the best, and then everyone else is below it.
Like LeBron and Anthony Davis were last year.
Exactly. Because he's good, but he's not great enough to where he can do it. No player can do it all by themselves. But
yeah,
I feel like he the way he dominates is in a way where it's like no other player can even benefit.
You don't even give people a chance to do that.
Yeah, they can't even be like a second good option.
Watching Last Dance, you understand. Like Jordan understood he needed guys like Scottie, Rodman, John Paxson, Steve Kerr. James Harden is just so egotistical. He just doesn't think he needs anybody. Watch me do this shit.
Exactly.
Well, we'll get into it, man. The NFL recap this week. Both Bronco fans. That Buffalo game was tough. It really surprised me. Like
it's just weird how I saw who was it? One of the guys from Barstool. He tweeted out Drew Lock's doing his best to throw interceptions, and the Bills' defense isn't cooperating.
There was a bunch that went off the hands.
Yeah, exactly. You see that, but then you see that great touchdown pass to Noah Fant. Had a great touch on it. It's just
I don't get it.
Consistent.
Right. I think he had. Yeah, he shows flashes of being a great quarterback, but he also shows flashes of being a fucking retard.
Backup, right?
It sucks.
And then it's where everyone's the people that are optimistic are maybe he'll be a Josh Allen type, or he'll make that third-year leap. So, but it's I don't know. I mean, he hasn't shown enough to where it's real convincing.
Well, through their first 16 games, because Drew Lock is right now at the 16-game mark because he's missed time both years. But all of his stats are better than Josh Allen.
Right.
But the thing is, Allen was a first-round prospect. Drew Lock was a second round.
Yeah.
So there's a reason that Drew Lock doesn't have the talent to project him to the first round.
Right. And I think it's if your first round guy is doing this, or your first pick in the draft is doing this, you're has those numbers that you're saying. you're like, okay, like just give him time, like feel the ballot, like
he has the potential.
He's our guy, yeah. But if it's like a second or later, even it's just like maybe this is just his like maybe this is who he is. You know, he's not gonna get no better, he's not gonna get no worse. It's just this is his ceiling, and he's reached it.
You think Denver should draft a quarterback?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think I feel like it'll do two good things. Like not only will it like light a fire into Drew's ass, it'll also like. What if he's fucking good? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what if he's good? You know? But
maybe you get I'm not saying Drew Lock is comparable to Aaron Rodgers in any way, but it could go one of two ways. You could draft a young quarterback and a guy, Aaron Rodgers, says, fuck this guy's not going to see the field.
Right.
Or you could Carson Wentz and just completely collapse because you lose confidence and the next guy is showing that he can play.
Right.
So
either that, I think the Broncos should either do that or make a trade for like an already established kind of quarterback.
Matt Stafford.
Matt Stafford.
I think Matt Stafford would play well.
Even just like a starter that's like shown he's capable of starting.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the Broncos' biggest missing piece. Obviously, you know
they have great skills. They have a good defense.
The youngest offense in the league. You know, average age of like 24 years old, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
and I think for sure, no matter what, Drew Lock's next year is make it or break a year.
Yeah, he's on the hot seat next year.
On the hot seat for sure.
Because last year, well, even going into this year, it's he hasn't played a full season yet. But now you fucking have. You understand the NFL. So either you understand and adapt, or you don't.
It's like last year, like he had 5 games, like 4-1 in those games. Played great, like wow, he could be good. He could be something, right?
Flashes.
Yeah, and then he like still inconsistent in his first year starting. So I think now he's like really like next year he has no excuse, no more excuses. You know?
Well,
so we'll see.
And I think a lot of it is having everyone's like, oh, he's only 8-8 in his first 16 starts, but he started out 4-1.
Yeah.
So he was 4-7 in the back half.
And it's just like it's not like he's putting like our offense is doing terrific and our defense is giving up 40 points a game.
Exactly, it's the opposite.
It's the opposite. It's like our defense is holding teams down to like winnable numbers, winnable like amount of points at the
like manageable games.
Yeah, and our offense is scoring like I think like dead last or like close to dead last.
28-32 for sure.
It's like 18 points we're averaging or something. I think it's the Broncos' worst since like 1966 or something like that.
It's embarrassing, man.
It's horrible.
Whoa. One thing this game showed me is Josh Allen is legit. Because with how good the Broncos defense was, Josh Allen put on a fucking clinic.
Josh Allen's definitely I don't think he'll win it, obviously, but he's definitely a dark horse for MVP. You know?
He's been awesome, dude.
I would say definitely third behind Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers.
Where do you think Russell Wilson is on the MVP list? He's lost a lot of traction, for sure.
Bad. I think they'll put him in the conversation because, like, why not? You're not going to win it. Just put him there, you know?
Throw him a couple.
Maybe give him a vote or two.
Maybe some Pacific Northwest riders are like, oh, this guy.
Yeah, it's just like he's really fallen off. And I think.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't even know. It's just tough because, like, I just saw, like, there's a stat right here, like, the Chiefs, Packers, Ravens, and Seahawks all are tied for first with 7 Pro Bowlers, you know? And so it's like, if you have 7 Pro Bowlers on your team, like, you would think that would be.
And who was it? Chiefs, Packers, Ravens, Seahawks?
Yeah. Yeah, Chiefs, Packers, Ravens, Seahawks.
It's interesting.
And it's weird because, like, 2 of those teams, the Packers and the Chiefs, are really
Super
good.
Bowl contenders.
Super Bowl contenders. And then the other teams, the Ravens and the Seahawks, are, like,
have disappointed.
Are disappointed. So it's, like, it's just crazy that, like, you have 7 All-Stars that work together and, like, are good. Or, like, that could be it. Or it's, like, what if, like, those non-All-Stars are better. Those non-Pro Bowlers are like just better than the other team role players. You know,
that is probably a lot of it.
I mean, but going back to like Russell Wilson, I just feel like I don't even know what it is.
I think they just rely on. They're so one-dimensional.
Yeah, it's just like it's like I don't know if he needs more help or.
I think he needs a running game.
A running game for sure would help out, and I feel like that it's a little discouraging when your defense like is putting up so many points. When you have to go into every week being like, I have to put up 35 points or else we're not even have a chance.
Well, when they quarterback coaches talk touchdown or check down, for Russell Wilson, when you're getting scored on every possession, it's like I have to take these stupid fucking risks to at least get in field goal range. It's almost like manageable.
I think that's what his biggest problem. He's almost trying to force stuff, trying to be.
He's playing hero ball.
Exactly. That never works. You know?
Yeah, that'll be good for a quarter, maybe a half, maybe a full game, but. Throughout the scope of his season,
I definitely think Russell Wilson will definitely win at least one MVP in his career.
You think so?
I think he'll get one.
I think. I mean, I noticed a pattern. It seems like every single year he either starts like first 8 games he's scorching, or last 8 games he's scorching.
Exactly.
So
he's one of those guys that's like he has such like high ceiling. It's like you don't want to count him out just yet. You never want to really completely count him out because he is capable, of being.
That's
being
true.
Great, but
He's a stud for sure.
he has flashes,
Yeah, he has flashes, but his flashes last longer.
Yeah.
And I mean, what do you think about Drew Brees the other day? Like that Saints team.
I just want to say, kind of expected, but kind of not. It's like it's almost like it's expected because the dude broke his whole rib cage damn near, collapsed lung. It's like that was a significant injury, and then he's playing the Chiefs, obviously another
good team,
great team, but at the same time it's still Drew Brees. You know what I'm saying? Dude, you've been playing for
if you want to be in this upper echelon with Brady, Montana, Elway,
you've been playing for so long. It's just you kind of should be able to come back and play decent,
Kind of seemed like he was playing a bit scared.
He was, yeah. He played, almost timid. I mean, I would too. I don't blame him.
Fuck yeah.
0 for 5, 1 interception to start off the game.
Especially when he's not old, but for football he's old. So seeing these dudes, knowing you don't have the skills to evade pressure as well as he once did, and it's fuck, I don't want to get hit. Quick throw.
And Drew Brees is one of those guys that his biggest strength throughout career is just completions.
Mm-hmm.
He's has
consistency.
I think he's number 1 in the NFL history of completion percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that just to see him go 0 for 5 is weird.
It's rare.
It's rare. It doesn't happen. But I think next week, I'm not saying he'll be significantly better, but I think
he'll clean it up.
He'll clean it up.
Well, I think when they put Hill in for a couple snaps, it kind of changed the pace. They look better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think also I think mostly it was on him for those incompletions, but at the same time, I feel they were trying to do a whole 180 to try and get back to Drew Brees' offense.
That's true.
Versus Taysom Hill.
These guys are okay, I've been blocking in practice for 2 weeks. I haven't really caught many passes.
And then no Michael Thomas the rest of the year. That could hurt them too.
You think he wants out of New Orleans? Because he's been kind of a problem, and throughout his whole career, he's never had injuries. He was mad in the beginning of the season.
Got in the fight with his teammate.
Mm-hmm. And then he's just injuries, fucking complaining, get benched.
I just think he's kind of an Odell Beckham type, honestly.
Low key, all those really good receivers kind of become divas.
Bad.
Honestly, who's not? It's Stephon Diggs. He's not a diva, really. You never really hear much about him.
Kind of, sort of, because I know toward the end, his relationship with Kirk Cousins was a little rocky.
That's true.
He is a little rocky.
Always exposing dirty laundry.
Yeah, he was. But
what about
I feel any receiver, if they're happy, they'll be quiet. But at the same time,
what about D-Hop? He's not really out there as much.
I don't think he's out there. I think he's just so confident, he knows how good he is.
He don't have to tell you.
Yeah, just and even then, I don't think he ever really forced his way out of Houston. He just got traded,
Yeah, he was hey guys, if you respect me for and what I've done, could you please put me in a winning situation?
I just think there's no more Larry Fitz, No, there's
no more. Just put the helmet fucking on and go get it.
That's why I'm afraid guys like Jerry Jeudy. I'm afraid he'll have a good year, and then get pissed and just become one of those guys, or even Terry McLaurin.
It seems it's been with not all receivers, but a lot of these high tier receivers. I mean, even starting
hungry and get ball hungry.
Starting with T.O. and Randy, dude. T.O. and Randy bounced around.
The voices when they start speaking up.
Well, who else who's a great receivers in our even guys Emmanuel Sanders, AB, Jarvis, Odell, D-Hop, Stephon Diggs. These guys just get pissed off and want to leave.
I think another good team player. I think is probably Julian Edelman. He's kind of a work hard, just do my thing.
That's one thing. With those guys who aren't problems, they understand their role. Mm-hmm. And as a receiver, you have to understand you're not going to get the ball every play.
Like Danny Amendola was probably another guy that just plays. And
right, he understands his role. I think that's so big in any sport, man. You get these dudes you get dudes in baseball who they're middle relief pitchers and then they're complaining about innings, but that's your job. I mean, guys in basketball who are paid to come off the bench and make a couple big shots or D up a guy when your main guy gets tired. And once these guys start complaining and bitching, they need to understand there's a reason you're not in that starting role.
Exactly. It's there's a lot of number two receivers that think they're the number one receiver, and they get pissed and they don't get number one receiver money or number one receiver targets. And receiving is one of the few positions in the NFL where there's more than one of you.
Uh-huh.
So it's it's like, hey, like this guy next to me is getting more money than I am. You know what I'm saying?
That would be hard
And
for
you
sure.
start competing not only like within the NFL but within your own locker room too.
Right, because in a sport like that happens like in baseball with pitchers too. Because if I'm playing baseball, oh well, I'm the starting shortstop on this team, so I'm the guy and I'm gonna get the money. But as a pitcher, it's like, well, fuck, like I'm the number 2, but I'm putting up number 1 innings, I'm putting up number 1 production. Why is that guy getting $1 million more than me a year?
I think that has a lot to do with it, especially nowadays. Everyone's so money hungry, you know.
I didn't think about Terry McLaurin, dude. He might say, "Get me the fuck out of here."
Yeah, and at that point, it's like there's gotta be some point where you gotta like understand. It's like these receivers, they make their living off good quarterbacks, you know.
Exactly.
And if they can't get a good quarterback, like it's almost like.
Well, that's one of the few positions in sports where your success is contingent on another.
Right.
Like and LeBron and Antonio Brown were talking about this on his barbershop thing.
Yeah.
AB was like bitching about Big Ben. He was like, man, I was like, quit throwing shit to the D line. And LeBron was like, yeah. He's like, that's one thing. He's like, or no. They were talking about when AB threw that tantrum and threw the water cooler. He was like, I was wide ass open and Ben didn't look at me. But Ben was just like, oh, like that wasn't my read. I wasn't supposed to read that side of the field. So I wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
And LeBron was like, that's crazy. He's like, because I could go get a rebound, score, go get a steal, score. And then we get the ball back and I inbound it to a guy who I know is going to pass it right back to me. He was like, but in your sport, like if Big Ben didn't want to throw you, he just wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have to.
Right. And I think one of the best. I think honestly in history, I think the best receiver that doesn't really have an attitude is Julio Jones.
Julio, man, he's never bitched.
Never.
But
never anything.
He's had a very good quarterback his whole career.
That's true.
Matty Ice.
Even like towards these later years, it's like these later years of Matt Ryan or him like kind of declining after that year of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Collapse.
The MVP year.
And it's almost towards like the end of like I feel like that's almost why he's not pitching. Where it's like he's almost like, man, like they respect me and love me so much in Atlanta. Like I'm kind of getting towards my later years.
He kind of wants a Larry Fitz.
Yeah, like I'm like.
I would love that, dude. I like it.
Yeah,
I like
that's
Julio.
Awesome. It's like these people treat me well, like
and especially with how dominant he was.
Yeah.
Like Julio was like Randy Moss level for a while, and but yeah, like he's never had a bad quarterback.
And it's just like it's like they've been like going to these Super Bowls. Like,
right.
It's not like they're like
it's not like
killing the playoffs.
Division
I
champs.
think he's happy, so it's like I think
he loves the city of Atlanta. They love him, and Matt Ryan, dude. They're gonna go down as one of the best wide receiver quarterback duos ever.
Sure.
Did you know more kickers have won MVP in the NFL than receivers? It's crazy, but it makes sense. Like honestly, receivers aren't that valuable.
They're replaceable for sure.
They're probably one of the most
great,
expendable positions.
And like a great kicker, especially nowadays, it seems like
kickers suck this year. Why do you think that is?
It's just. I mean, obviously, you know, like those TikToks where it's like you're sitting on the couch, like, dude, you're trash. You know?
You're trash, kid.
It's like, but it's at the same time, it's like it's their only job. It's like,
yeah, like quarterbacks is like, oh fuck, like I have to make a good throw and not get fucking blasted. Like a receiver's like, I have to catch it and then I have to run. Like running backs, I gotta catch it, run, and block sometimes. But yeah, kickers like you just have to kick it.
Right. No, I don't know. But like kickers, I feel like this has been one of the roughest years in NFL history for kickers for sure.
It seems like it's a lot more regular this year to miss, especially extra points.
Yeah, it's just like before. It's weird, like in the, like from like 2002 to like 10 or like even like later.
Our young childhood,
they're automatic.
You didn't miss extra points. They moved it back though in 2013.
Yeah, that did like.
But even then, they weren't missing
on. In 2000, like before.
I think it was from the 2.
Yeah, exactly. So this is like.
But and now I think it's from like
the 15 or something.
Yeah, 10 or 15.
Yeah.
But still.
Honestly.
And because right when they moved it, guys still weren't missing as much as they are now.
So it's just like.
You think that guys are like drafting kickers more on distance than they are on like how accurate, and that's why they miss more?
Maybe.
Because maybe it's like if we can get a kicker with a good leg that's 60% from 50 plus, then our quarterback has an easier job.
Right. You just have to get him in range, you know?
Yeah, the quarterback literally has to get past midfield.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would rather have automatic.
Would you rather a kicker that was 100% from 40 yards in, or would you rather that never miss, or a kicker that was like has a long of 60, but he's like a 65% field goal kicker
everywhere?
Everywhere.
I go 100 for 40 yards.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like is that 20 yards that like more valuable than just like very consistent kicker from
Yeah,
40.
because it'll get you 3 extra points from these 20
Yeah.
yards. But if you're 4 out of 10 times missing the 3 from within 40,
Yeah,
then it probably evens out.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like at that point, it's like it's like you're telling me your offense can't get it 10 more yards at least twice. You know, like you know what I'm saying. So it's like to give your kicker a chance. So at that point, it's just like you gotta look at the offense. If your kickers miss like 3, if your kicker's making a bunch of field goals, but they're all like 60 plus, 55 plus, it's like, all right, why?
It's like, yeah, push the ball.
Yeah, why is our offense getting a little bit closer? You know?
Yeah, and that's one thing people don't understand. Is like it's the offense's job to either score or to put their kicker in the best position to succeed. Like if you're putting your kicker on the fucking right hash from 57 with wind,
What do you expect? Yeah.
it's going to be
That's
pretty
tough.
fucking hard to
That's
score.
tough. Uh-huh.
All right. So we talked about the Bills in Denver. The Jets finally won
That's
against
good.
a team with a winning record too.
Yeah,
And the Rams have been beating some pretty good teams.
that was real good to see. Honestly,
I think it's real good to see for anybody except the Jets.
yeah.
Because then, like obviously,
Now the Giants get the tiebreaker.
Obviously,
the weaker schedule.
Justin Fields isn't a scrub, but Trevor Lawrence is the prize in this draft.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But maybe it'll work out. Maybe it'll work out for everyone. You know?
Maybe Trevor Lawrence fits better with the Jags.
I low-key think Trevor Lawrence by far wants to go back to Jacksonville or stay in the South. You know?
Oh, I do too.
For sure. Like I feel like he's. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I know him personally. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I definitely feel like
That's what you guys talked about at the Manning Passing Academy. He was like, "Yeah, I love the South."
Yeah.
That's what he tells you.
No, but honestly, it's just like he's been in the South his whole life. Like
Right.
he would obviously feel more comfortable staying there. Like he went on recruitment and business to Florida. Like that was one of his top.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And like I feel like he'd much rather stay there than go to New York City. You know, where it's like
Doesn't seem like a New York City guy.
no, not at all. And I
Where's
feel like-
Justin Fields from?
I think he's from Georgia. He's from Athens. I think that's why he went to Georgia first. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
But
you would want to stay in the South too.
I mean, they both would, but I just feel like Trevor Lawrence is like. I feel like this has a little bit to do with it. Like he's like getting married, like wants to stay home, close to her family too. Like everyone's saying, I mean, obviously it's not up to him, but I'm just saying like that's why.
if he got to pick,
yeah, and I feel like Justin Fields, maybe it's just like a bad just guess, but I feel like he's more like damn New York City, like that's drip, like you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
like,
young handsome single
New
dude.
York City, dude, you could be the man in New York City.
And yeah, if you're Trevor Lawrence, you're like, yeah, he's married or engaged.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, you want to settle down with a
Stay in
big
the South.
wraparound porch.
Right.
Justin Fields is like
Wraparound.
penthouse apartment in NYC or
Talk to-
maybe
yeah.
New Jersey. I don't know.
But it's
But
still,
still, dude.
and then you get a view with like your boy. He definitely is gonna make friends like on the Knicks, and you know what I'm saying.
Oh,
like,
that's true.
and like
Be posted up behind home plate at Yankee
Yeah.
games.
And I feel like if you're gonna be great, what a fucking place to be great in New York City. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That would probably be the coolest place to be
you'd be
great.
the man. It'd be even cooler than LA, honestly, because I feel like it's like smaller and bigger,
And I feel
everyone
like
knows
East
you
Coast sports fans are better.
better, yeah. And it's like everyone's like around you, you know, everyone's like pulling for you because it's not like like the Giants are New York's team, the Giants are New York's team. I would say, would you say? It's pretty close, honestly. These past
You got to
years,
think of because of recency bias.
yeah, but like this-
Kids our age have seen the Giants win, and
yeah.
people since the
Uh-huh.
fucking 70s haven't
Right.
seen the Jets win.
And I think this is Trevor Lawrence, like the Jets' chance, like he could like elevate the Jets, you know, for them to be like unanimously the New York's team.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be cool. And New York, even like, I mean, I guess the Yankees, but other than the Yankees, they have not had a lot of success in New York as far as professional sports go, you know.
Yeah, and the
The
Yankees
Knicks
haven't
aren't
done
doing
shit
anything.
since 09.
So whoever it is, I think I'm pulling from in New York. That's for sure.
Would you rather be a East Coast athlete or a West Coast athlete?
I'd rather be a West Coast athlete.
A
For sure.
West Coast athlete?
Honestly,
So say you're a 3-sport athlete. Would you rather play for the Rams, Dodgers, and Lakers or the Giants, the Yankees, and the Knicks?
I honestly want to like for the West Coast teams.
Really?
Maybe not because I've been to New York before,
Mhm.
and it's just like so fast paced and like a lot of people. And,
You like the more laid back culture?
yeah, more laid back, like slow down, you know.
Yeah, I
But at
feel
the
you.
same time, I feel like we've been saying, if you have Loop and you're like the man in New York City, that'd be badass. So at the same time, like imagine like Derek Jeter in his prime, like
Oh, my
he probably ran New York
God.
City, you know. So it's like
Oh,
that would
my
be
God.
cool, but I feel like for the most part, I'd honestly probably choose West Coast just because like
Yeah.
it's closer to home.
I would rather go East Coast just because I feel like East Coast sports fans are better.
Yeah, I hate because I feel like there's like less of them, you know. and I feel like there's less like great teams and like as far
That's
as,
true.
And I think the East Coast is one of those ones like whatever team it is on the East Coast, like the whole East Coast is gonna go for them.
Like the Red Sox.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I mean, unless you're a Yankee fan, but
Yeah.
if you're from like, I feel like if you're anywhere north of Massachusetts, like Maine, Vermont, Rhode Island, Delaware,
right.
you're Red Sox.
Red Sox, yeah.
And then
And
Yankees.
I feel like even if you don't even like care for them really, but if they're in the World Series, you're gonna cheer for them.
Mhm.
You know.
And like the New England Patriots, like
Yeah.
you all feel represented by that. You know,
Exactly.
if it's the Boston Patriots, it's like, oh, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
But New England is
Yeah.
like you represent everybody.
That whole area.
I think. What do you think is the best sports city in America?
Probably I don't know, in LA.
LA? I say Boston, bro.
Boston, yeah, that's definitely up there.
Those Red Sox fans, those Patriots, Bruins, Celtics.
Yeah.
And the thing with those fans, bro, is they don't give a fuck if you win.
Yeah.
They're just gonna go to the and the history behind it too.
Yeah.
Because like the Red Sox have just history since the curse of the Bambino and all this shit. Celtics, Bill Russell, Danny Ainge, Larry.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about hockey, but like the Patriots, I mean,
LA Kings are always up there. I know that.
with the Gretz.
Yeah. And then Lakers obviously.
That's true.
I feel like Boston, New York City, LA, those big markets are.
I think Los Angeles and New York are the two best sports
for sure.
cities.
And like most known, most common, you know.
Yeah, and
Boston's definitely like a sleeper as far as just like their intensity in sports, you know.
mhm. And it's like all those crazy like Irish people.
Yeah.
It's like the fucking Red Sox, man.
Yeah.
Exactly. We'll get back to it. The Steelers get upset by the 2-10-1 Bengals on Monday Night Football and it wasn't even their starter, Joey Burr.
Or even in the second string either.
Ryan Finley, bro. Third stringer, Ryan Finley.
It's like, me and you were always at first we were like, maybe the Steelers are actually contenders.
Yeah, we were saying contenders or pretenders, but we were always wishy-washy.
Yeah, exactly. They were never certain. But it's like now it's like just to call them like pretenders is even like
they're fraud.
They're straight frauds.
They went from being like, oh, are they gonna be the only undefeated team of this like decade or whatever?
I think they'll be out. I think they might go down. I mean, obviously, I don't really know any other team, but I feel like they should go down in history as like the worst team to start 11 now.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's like I feel like every 11-0 team probably had some success like the rest of the season. You know, what I'm saying, if they didn't like have a tremendous,
at least like didn't almost lose out.
Fall apart. Yeah, like I mean, is it possible that if they were to lose the rest of their games, they miss the playoffs? I don't think so. I think they already clinched at least a spot.
I believe they clinched a berth. Yes,
yeah.
Because the Ravens, I don't think can win 11 games.
Right.
But they can't.
I mean,
that actually takes me to my top pick. We have the same top pick this week.
Similar, yeah.
Fuck. All right, you go first.
My top pick is that the Steelers lose out and they just decline, steady decline. I don't see
and they get in the playoffs, get shit beat out of them,
get
waxed.
I think they end their season at 11-5.
11-5.
Yeah. 11. And I just see them lose to the Colts and especially I think I'm getting their ass kicked by the Browns.
All right, that's similar to my top pick, but I have a little twist to it. I think Cleveland wins out because they play the Jets and the Steelers. Hopefully we don't get no fucking Rams action. So I pray that Baker can beat the fucking Jets. And I think Pittsburgh loses out and Cleveland wins the division, although Pittsburgh started 11-0.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. That'd be great to see, actually.
Dude, let's go back to the recap. Baker and the Browns just balled out against the Giants, man.
Yeah. I mean,
you think Baker is like for real? Like you think he's an elite quarterback now?
I think if he finishes the season strong, they don't have to win a Super Bowl. But if they win a playoff game, he's for real.
Dude.
Especially like to the Cleveland fans, winning a playoff game would be like winning the Super Bowl, you know? At this point, you know, it's like you can't go home and be pissed after they lose
say the Browns gets matched with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
It's a good game. They lose by 7-10.
You gotta be excited. You can't be pissed.
Look to the future too.
No, I definitely think if Baker like collapses this year, it's like, oh fuck, here we go again. You know, you see those memes like Baker called up the media, plays like you know what I'm saying? It's like plays good, plays like shit.
What was it? It's all Baker plays like shit, gets called out by the media, calls out the media, plays good, no. It's Baker plays like shit, gets called out by media, plays good, calls out media, plays like shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you don't want to see that come full circle.
This
again.
has probably been the most consistent stretch of his career.
Oh, 100%. So I think if he continues to stretch until the rest of the season, he'll be legit.
I think he's growing up too.
Oh yeah,
I think he's not
maturing.
like I mean I've always loved Baker Mayfield, but I think he got caught up in like
Right.
I'm gonna prove this guy
The
wrong. Like
underdog mentality too much.
yeah, and it's like I get the underdog mentality when you're not really highly recruited out of high school, when you're a walk on at two different schools, but you won the Heisman in your first overall pick.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I think
Like you got to take that front runner mentality and just tell everyone to fuck off.
I think that's why he was doing shitty because he was still thinking of like trying to play hero ball. Like I'm the underdog.
Hero ball,
I gotta
yeah.
make this shit happen. But I think now he's like taking a step back. Like fuck the media. I'm not gonna talk to them. I'm just gonna show them.
Right.
I'm just gonna make it. I'm gonna like let them see.
John Dorsey had enough confidence in me to draft me number 1. Got me some really good fucking weapons around me.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna use that and fuck this mindset.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, man. I think Baker is like you said, he's got to prove it a little more, but I think the Browns have their guy finally.
Oh, yeah. I think so too.
Do you see who was it? Roethlisberger started out 0 for 5 against the Bengals.
Yeah.
And Mayfield had 5 incompletions the entire day against the Jets. And that Jets defense is nothing to scoff at. They've been pretty solid all year.
Yeah. Well, like.
Or I mean the Giants. I'm
Have
sorry.
you seen that? Have you seen that crazy stat? How the Jets have like had more points than the Steelers.
Like scored?
They scored more points than the Steelers in the past 3 games, and they're 1-2, and the Steelers are 0-3. They scored like 52 points in these past 3 games, and the Steelers have only scored like 49 or something like that.
This is a tough topic. You think Big Ben is washed?
I feel like that you've been saying. I feel like people have been asking that question for the past like 3 years of his. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think Big Ben was ever like an elite quarterback.
I think he just made the right plays at the right time.
Yeah.
He was always good enough, but like they always surrounded him with like great dudes.
I mean, he had
good defenses. Like
they had Mike Wallace, they had Hines Ward, then they got Emmanuel,
Holmes,
AB, Santonio Holmes, fucking even guys like Juju and Claypool have been solid enough.
Always had like a great. I mean,
Keith Miller.
And the Steelers have always been known for like having a good defense.
Defense and running game.
That's kind of what they run behind is a good defense,
Well, he kind of leaned on AB and Le'Veon.
Yeah.
And I mean, one thing they don't have is a running game. Even Benny Snell played solid yesterday, but they don't have a great running game.
Yeah.
Connor had a good early start to his career, but he really hasn't picked
never
up.
really did, but like they started off 11-0. You know what I'm saying?
That's one weird. They kind of had an easy schedule.
Yeah. Oh, barely. I mean, they barely beat the Broncos.
Barely beat the Broncos.
And I feel like they've always been like barely escaping wins.
And they never had convincing wins.
Never.
Well, they beat the shit out of the Browns. They beat them like 38-3.
I mean, that was when Baker Mayfield was at this point in the circle.
Yeah, that was when he was the play like shit because he had just called out the media.
I think it was still consistent.
Yeah.
Like week 4, week 5?
I think it was week 3 to 5 or something. Yeah, I don't know. He looks like he's feeling dangerous.
Because like I feel like the especially if like a wild card in the hunt team, like from week week of 12 to week 16 are the most important. Week.
Those are the formative years of your season.
And so it's like if you play great and like basically I think Coach Segura like said something like this like you can't win, you can't like let's go for NFL in the week weeks 1 through like 4 or 5 you can't win the Super Bowl, but you can lose the Super Bowl in the first half. You know what I'm saying?
You could completely knock yourself out of contention.
Knock yourself out. So you just have to play like good enough. But I think like the Steelers like they played great. So I think they like really like kind of like got themselves on the pedestal, and I feel like they're like petering out. You know what I'm saying? Like they started too hot.
Well, these two dudes, I like to listen to their podcast on Barstool. Their names are Big Cat and PMT or PFT. Their podcast is part of my take, and they always like they just like joke around, but they always say like every Super Bowl team has like one loss where you're like, what the fuck? Like, how did they lose that game? And it's like week 8 or earlier.
Yeah.
So like, and they've been saying about the Steelers all year. They're like, oh, they peaked too early.
Yeah.
Because every Super Bowl team has like one
they get like exposed like bad, and then they're like fuck, that's our weakness. We need to fix it.
Exactly, like A-Rod against the Bucks.
Yeah.
It's like, oh fuck, like I'm not gonna let that happen again. But the Steelers peaked too early, dude. And it's like in any sport, bro. You see baseball, like in baseball, you see wild card teams going to the World Series, and it's like, oh, they got hot at the like that. They always say that it's in baseball. It's not the team with the best record; it's who gets hot at the best time.
We play in October. Yeah.
That's how it is in football too. I mean, that's why I think the Packers are great contenders.
Yeah.
I was really thinking the Rams because they were hot, but they cooled off. I don't know. I don't know how you fucking lose to the Jets, man.
That's not good.
That's ridiculous, dude. All right, we'll get to the not slick. Going back to that Monday Night Football game, Juju Smith dances on the logo to Corvette. His caption was, "When they tell you to quit dancing and quit being yourself," and it's like Corvette, and then this dude Von Bell. They asked Von Bell, they're like, "What do you think about Juju's dances?" And he was like, he said before the game, it was crazy how it worked out. He said before the game, he was like, "Oh, we'll let him do all the dancing on our logo and talking he wants." He was like, "But he don't want to see the logo of my helmet in his face mask or something." And then he fucked him up. What do you think about that, man? Like, if you're Mike Tomlin, do you like cut the fucking 15-year-old girl shit out? What do you think he's gonna tell him?
He's just gonna be like, "Bro, just do it in the locker room. Like, just don't do it anywhere else except for the fucking logo." You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think now if he stops, it's like kind of a bitch thing, because then it's like he's riding the front runner mentality where it's like, oh, like Michael Jordan said in Last Dance, he's like, oh, they want to talk that shit when the score is 0-0, or he's all, they want to talk that shit when they're up 10. They don't want to talk that shit when it's 0-0 or they're down. And it's like, and then is like Juju a front runner? Like, I don't know, man. Like Josh Allen, did you see that pregame speech he gave? Yeah. He's like, let him do all the fucking talking and dancing, but we're gonna get to fucking work. And then they beat him too.
Yeah, I think that's like the biggest thing. It's like he's almost like putting a target on himself.
Yeah, like you see the Cincinnati Bengals tweeted, it was like that Von Bell hit on Le'Veon. It was that Von Bell hit on Juju, and it was like Von Bell with a forced fumble on TikTok star and Pittsburgh football player. And it's like, see, now in the NFL, you're not.
Especially like in today's world, it's like, dude, everyone's looking for the fucking meme.
Everyone's looking to clown you.
Everyone, in a funny way, and people love it.
Yeah.
It's like everyone keep eating it up, you know.
Yeah, man. You think he should cut that shit out, or?
I don't think so, but
no?
I feel like he will, a little bit at least.
I think Mike Tomlin's gonna be like, "Yo, man, like I know how to win. Mm-hmm. I've won." And
yeah. Dude, I definitely don't think that's like. Some people are like, "Oh, that's the reason why the Steelers are losing." No,
oh, it's not. They're just not playing well.
Yeah. It's not like I don't care how all the other team like use it as motivation. Like
I hate when people do shit like that.
It's like okay, I don't care how much motivation they get. It's like that's not a reason why you're losing, you know, because someone's dancing. You know?
If you're not capable of winning, you're not gonna win, no matter how much motivation you have.
Right. Exactly.
Like when Joe Namath guaranteed a Super Bowl, you don't think it motivated the other team? They just couldn't beat him.
Exactly. No, exactly. I don't believe in that.
So you think all that like we saw this guy was disrespecting us and we used it as motivation.
So, dude, I don't care how motivated if you're an 11-0 team and you're playing a team like the fucking Bengals, I don't like, dude, they could be playing with their lives on the lines and they still shouldn't be good enough to beat an 11-0 team Steelers, you know?
Yeah, or 11-1 at that point.
11-1, but I'm saying like they still shouldn't be able to beat the Steelers no matter how much motivation.
Exactly. The Steelers just played bad.
Yeah.
Well, I honestly think like the revenge games like that make you play worse because you force shit.
I agree.
Like say a guy gets cut from his team and like he's like say if Cam Newton played the Panthers because he got cut and he's like, oh, like I gotta go to Carolina, prove him wrong. I think it would make him play worse because he would just like force stuff and look like an idiot. So I don't think all that motivation like always disrespecting our logo. Like I feel like people don't give a fuck.
Yeah, my not slick of the week is Gruden wearing the Oakland Raiders hat.
Oh, that was goofy.
Like, how did that happen, bro?
That was goofy.
Just like you're telling me none of your no one else in your organization looked at your hat like, hey, that's the Oakland Raiders hat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like what?
Like
how or why? No, my biggest question is like, why the fuck is that hat even anywhere near him?
I was thinking that too. Like why don't they just throw all that shit out?
Why is that even being produced?
And especially because it's like the hat he replaced it with was the same exact hat, but it just said Las Vegas, like same font and everything.
Yeah, it's like.
So why don't they just throw that shit out?
Well, yeah,
they're like, hey John, we replaced your lucky hat with like the same exact hat.
Yeah, like, how does he get his uniform and it's Oakland? I just don't understand.
Well, I watched a video on NFL equipment managers, and so like the players show up in like suits or like sweats or whatever, and then the equipment managers there's a coach's locker room. So they set out like all their hats, say you know how like some coaches wear polos and shit. Yeah. So say he's like a polo guy, so they'll set up like 5 polos, like the hats, the khakis, or if it's Belichick, then they'll set up the hoodies and sweats.
Yeah.
So like, how does the equipment guy put the Oakland shit in the locker room first place? Or if like Gruden brought his own hat,
Yeah.
How are they not like, bro, take that shit off? Like
Definitely
that.
a lot of question marks on that.
Well, how does like an assistant coach, like when they're talking before the game, he's like, oh shit, you got the right
Yeah.
hat, man. Or a player, or an equipment
Anyone,
manager, or
literally
like,
anyone.
yeah, dude. How many people are there in that like pre-game process?
Yeah, that look at it.
Probably like almost 100.
Yeah.
And not one person could be like, yo, this shit's wrong, man.
Yeah.
Or maybe like he was like, yo, I'm not changing this. I love Oakland. I don't
Trying
fucking
to say
know.
a statement. No, I don't think so. That'd be funny. That's a good storyline to talk about too.
I guess, man. He's a weird cat, though.
Oh yeah.
You watch that Hard Knocks with the Raiders?
That's not a little bit of it.
He's a fucking
weird guy.
weirdo.
Though. He's intense, I guess.
He's a sharp football mind, but he's a weird cat.
Yeah, he is.
Knock on wood if you're with me.
I guess we'll finish that on the topics. Yeah. We'll go to check. Check this shit out.
Check this shit out. What you got?
In 1985, Joe Montana led the NFL in completion percentage with 61.3%.
Okay.
And in today's NFL, that'd be 33rd, dead last, bro.
That would be like the first backup.
Right. That'd be horrible.
Quarterback shade. Because me and my pops were talking about it. I was like, yeah, like I was looking at Joe Montana's stats and he wasn't even that good.
He's had dudes.
And my dad was like, he was good, but for the time, he was like, back then, like quarterbacks would throw 25 touchdowns and like 12 picks, and that's a good year.
Yeah.
He was like, now Aaron Rodgers is like 40 and not even 5.
Yeah.
Like the quarterback position has changed a
sure.
fucking
And it's like you look at Joe Montana had like the greatest receiver of all time.
Roger Craig.
He had Ronnie Lott. Like these great
Great coaching too.
Great coaching. So it's like that just shows how like you've seen a capable quarterback, and if you build everything else around, you can still win a championship. You know what I'm saying?
I kind of actually. I was gonna go back. I was gonna go back on that and say Drew Lock, but I don't think he's good enough.
Yeah.
So
I feel like
I think you're right.
By capable, I mean like if like a guy like Philip Rivers had all the tools that.
Rivers has never had tools. Well, he has on the offensive side, but their defense.
But even like Joe Montana's play, I don't even think in today's game could be. It'd be like close, Would he be?
Well, they say like, could Michael Jordan come back now? I don't think most of those quarterbacks could come now and play at the level that they would.
So different. I mean, so is NBA, but at the same time, like those my goals, like be athletic, like score the basketball. You know what I'm saying? And NFL's like
try to be long and strong.
Everything, like the players have changed.
And
the game has changed.
The offenses have changed a lot.
The defenses, everything.
Well, it used to be just like run up the middle.
Right.
And now like that's like it's not rare, but the game is like get it out. A lot of running backs are get it outside the tackles, pass to the running backs. Like the game's changed a lot. It's weird. Sure. But do you think if a guy like Montana played now, he would change his style? Or do you think he's not capable?
Because this is like I mean, obviously, I've never seen a ton of Joe Montana film, but he never seemed like that elusive of a guy, So I don't think it would be like a Lamar Jackson type ever. Like
I think he would be a Philip Rivers type.
Yeah, I think he would just like try to rely more on his arm. But I mean, if you're throwing 61 for like,
yeah, how good can his arm be?
How good can you just rely on that?
Yeah, it's not like incredible arm talent.
Yeah,
like guys like Matt Stafford have just God-given arm talent.
Yeah,
like where he could just fling it.
Right.
You see that no-look pass he threw?
That was cool,
dude. Because the Pat Mahomes one was like badass.
Yeah.
But there was like nobody there, so he kind of had to just throw it so the guy could run under.
Uh-huh.
Stafford's was a fucking laser between like 3 guys. You think he's the most underrated quarterback of our generation?
I wouldn't say underrated. I think he's just like the best quarterback without any help.
The best like the most wasted.
Yeah, the most wasted. Yeah. Because it's just like I feel like almost him and Matt Ryan, honestly. But Matt Ryan had himself a chance, and even Stafford never even got him close to like anywhere that chance.
I think Stafford's been in the playoffs twice, and everyone's like, "Oh, well, he had Megatron." Well, like, who else did they have?
Yeah,
like ever.
And he hasn't had it for like forever now.
Megatron retired in like
14 or something.
14, yeah.
Yeah, like it's been a while, and he's still putting up great numbers. Without
him. Matt Stafford, they better build a statue of him outside Ford Field in Detroit.
Because he has a lot of opportunities to leave him somewhere better. He just didn't.
I would if I was Matt Stafford, I would say fuck this and get the hell out of there. Would you? Or would you want to be like the face of the Lions? Because I think at this point he's definitely the face of the Lions.
Either way, I feel like he's not in the wrong no matter what he decides to do.
Yeah.
But if I was him,
because if he wants to Larry Fitz-it,
if I was him, I'd be like, you know what? I'm just gonna stay here, dude. Especially I don't know. I don't know if he's a family man. No, I think he is, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Wasn't his wife the one that had like cancer and like?
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
I feel like they're at the point where like, dude, we made a home.
They feel at home.
We're at home. Like I'm already getting my older years. Like I'm
probably how Julio feels.
Exactly.
And if like I feel like also that is like you feel comfortable like because like with Larry Fitz, like obviously he's declined.
Yeah.
But that fan base respects him so much, like
yeah.
not gonna say it. Like, and they're gonna respect what he did. Like if a guy like that goes to a new team, they're obviously gonna get a lot of money for what they have done. Mm-hmm. And then if they suck, it's gonna be like, oh, like this guy was the worst free agent signing. Like he's so washed. Like why did we sign this guy? But if it's Stafford, it's like, oh, like it's just Matt. Exactly. Like how the Colts are with Phillip Rivers. Yeah. Like, oh, if we just had anybody better than Phillip Rivers, like, oh yeah, well you had Jacoby Brissett, so kind of fucking be appreciative.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Let's talk about the NBA, man. What are your predictions? Who do you think is gonna win the finals this year?
I think Lakers will repeat.
Think the Lakers will repeat?
Yeah.
I think they have the guys to do it, especially with the Warriors losing Klay Thompson.
I think they definitely won free agency by far.
They built themselves back up a team.
Signing the 6-man, the Trez.
Second 6-man.
I think a solid point guard and Schroeder.
Yeah, Dennis Schroeder's good, man.
And I think they got like some other dudes. I don't know. They had a nice ass.
Marc Gasol solid.
Marc Gasol, and he's like, no, it's just like even just bringing in a veteran. It's just like
honestly, I think that's huge in I think basketball more than anything.
Yeah,
because you see them keeping guys around. Like we talked about it on an earlier episode, like Udonis Haslem.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like just staying around.
Yeah. And I think even that Talon Horton or whatever the fucking that guy's name is.
Talon Horton Tucker?
Yeah, even like
he's showing flashes.
I know it's preseason, but like I mean you can't be a
scrubs don't pop off
scrubs don't put up those numbers.
Because there's still NBA guys on the other team.
And I think even last year, like before preseason, LeBron's like, watch out for this dude. Like I remember seeing an article like this guy's legit, even though he didn't play at all. And it's like, oh, like shut up, LeBron. Like he's like, you don't like this. We have a big chip from this guy. But like the fact that we're seeing it now, it's like. And LeBron, I feel like he can recognize talent better than anyone. You know?
Well, you see that Talon Horton Tucker tweet like from like years ago?
Oh, yeah, about the Delonte West one?
About Delonte West stroking out LeBron's mom. Have you seen that Kyle Kuzma tweet? It was like LeBron James went south while his hairline went north and his mom went west. That shit's funny, bro. You have two of those dudes on your team.
And those are the guys going to be fighting for minutes each other.
Yeah. You see that tweet, LeBron's like, Kuzma is going to be the most underrated player. And people are like, yo, LeBron's just trying to build his trade stock.
No, I think he will. I mean, he has all the tools. And, I mean, the Lakers, like, put trust in him, like, re-signing him for, like, giving that extension.
I think Kyle Kuzma would be, like, the best player on a bad team.
Oh, yeah.
But he's just he's a forward.
Like, if you put him
on a team with James and Anthony Davis.
Like, if you put him on, like, the Cavs or something, he's scoring 20, 25 points a game, you know?
If you put the Jazz, the Knicks, like just like dog shit teams.
Yeah.
Hornets.
Even
maybe the Pelicans. They would just be the Lakers again.
Exactly.
You think LaMelo Ball will be a good NBA player?
I think he will. I think he has a higher ceiling than Lonzo.
Yeah, I think the scoring ability, because the thing coming Lonzo in, it's like, yo, this guy could pass and defend, and he has done that in the NBA. Mm-hmm. He just can't score.
Yeah, I think LaMelo's obviously a better scorer, taller. I think if he beefs up,
he's pretty scrawny.
He's too scrawny, yeah. And it's like if you're gonna be like skinny, you gotta be KD. You gotta be like
Kelly Oubre.
You gotta be at least 6'10".
I don't think Giannis is skinny.
I mean anymore. I mean, like even he's bulked up.
Younger Giannis,
yeah. But like look how dominant he is now. That's like I feel like that has a part because he's bulked up a little bit, you know. Mm-hmm. I think LaMelo needs to get bigger, but like Lonzo's no scrub either. But he'll be on the move next year, probably because they didn't resign him.
Yeah, you think he'll go to like some shit team, or you think he'll try to be a role player on a good team?
I think he'll fucking try to make his way to Charlotte, dude.
Oh shit!
I mean,
what if, dude?
Whether I feel like what LeVar wants, LeVar gets.
The Ball brothers fucking meet in Charlotte and beat LeBron in the finals. You shouldn't have traded me.
Man, that's.
Nah, just kidding. That'll never fucking happen. Yeah, right. Especially with that contract they signed Hayward to.
Yeah.
You know he's only been an All-Star one time.
And he's getting paid.
Like I thought he was like an All-Star like 5 times. Like
he's getting paid like a freaking MVP too.
So is Tobias Harris. He never really did shit.
He was just like a great role player.
Yeah.
Like, a great role player.
It's crazy. In the NBA, scrubs get paid so much.
Like, dude, Luke Kennard got extended like a 4-year, $65 million deal, $64 million deal. It's like.
Because in baseball, the top end money's higher,
It's crazy.
but scrubs in
Get
the NBA get
Yeah.
paid so much,
Even
bro.
like great players in MLB, like until they're up for a contract year, like they get like even the MVPs in MLB are getting paid like $5 million sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Because in the MLB, they're like, oh, we're not restructuring a contract. You
Yeah,
sign it.
like,
Basketball, it's like, oh, you want more money? Here.
Yeah, it's exactly like if they're gonna be
Unless you're Scotty Pippen.
yeah, if they're
Fuck
gonna
that
cry
guy.
about it, make a big old deal about it, they'll probably get paid.
NBA players are bigger divas. You think
Right.
NBA players are the biggest divas?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think one big thing with it is like their faces are known.
Oh, I was gonna say the same thing.
You know what I mean?
Exactly, like they're out there. People see them like their
NBA
egos on the
players.
line
I think
every-
NBA players are the most celebrities.
Oh, for sure. It's just like they're on like, just like you like, especially when you play for like the team like the Lakers or like New York, like you're like the town's like you represent everyone.
Like it's
you know?
like say like this is like a weird analogy. Say like the towns in like they say like the city's a school. Like you're like the star varsity athlete.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
everyone knows you. Like
Exactly.
you date all the hot girls.
Right.
Like
exactly, and it's like because like I pretty much for the most part in NBA, it's like you'll see like TMZ. It's like freaking LeBron James going out with his wife to dinner.
Yeah.
Or, like you'll see like Kyle Kuzma out with like this Instagram model like going to the club. It's like you don't really see that for a lot of other sports. You know? What I'm saying?
like
There's like James Harden leaving the strip club. Like you see shit like that all the time, and it's just like, why do we care? Like that's not even their fucking profession. But like,
and like baseball, it's like a dude can like cheat on his wife at a strip club, and you don't see about it.
no.
And I think because of baseball,
because in NBA, like you said, like their personalities.
they're celebrities in the NBA. Like
Exactly.
Christian Yelich is a great. He's a 2-time MVP, or no, he's a 1-time MVP. Bellinger beat him out the next year, but he's a star.
Yeah.
And I would say most sports fans wouldn't be like walking on the street, be like, "Oh shit, that's Yelich."
Yeah. No.
But like, I would say Yelich and Antetokounmpo are very like comparable within their own sports because they're like a young star who like
quiet.
wasn't great in the beginning of their career and then came up. But like, if you see Yelich walking with Antetokounmpo, it's like, oh, there's Giannis and some white guy.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
and in football, like their faces are covered.
Yeah.
So
it's true. Like it's just like my dad, like when like my dad sat next to Will Parks on the airplane. You know, it's like. I mean, other than like he had like flashy, like he had like Gucci like bags, but it's just like okay, it's just like a rich black guy. You know, it's like, it's like
he probably owns a business or
yeah,
something.
it's like you're not gonna be like. But if he was like, even if he was like,
Contavious Caldwell-Pope.
yeah, even if he was just like a decent like NBA player, you'd probably recognize him. Like,
And NBA players are the flashiest.
right? Oh yeah.
Like walking into a baseball game.
yeah.
You play 162 though, so these motherfuckers walking in shorts
Yeah.
and t-shirt.
Even like an
Football.
average basketball fan, like if they saw Lou Williams in public, they'd be like, "Oh, that's Lou Will." You know what I'm saying? They'd recognize you. Like you're saying, they see the faces. Like
Yeah, because in baseball, like since the field's so big, when you see them on the field, you don't see their faces.
but it's like even if you're on the bench in the NBA, like you still get a scene. Like, I'm saying, like, you're still
Yeah, because the cameras are always facing
cameras
the
are
bench.
always on you.
Even coaches.
Yeah.
Like there's like Eric Spoelstra, you would know Eric
Right.
Spoelstra. Like Doc Rivers, bro, you would know Doc Rivers.
And like even coaches, like when NBA coaches get moved around, that's more headlines than like MLB managers moving around or NFL coaches moving around. But like when NBA coaches move around, like everyone
Like
hears about it.
Doc Rivers goes to Sixers. It's like
You hear
holy
about it.
shit.
Yeah, it's news.
And even if like, I mean, everyone like tries to talk like Doc Rivers is that dude, but he's only won one championship. Like he's a well-known coach.
He always gets thrown into great situations already.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he kind of got given Pierce, Garnett, Rondo,
Yeah.
and Allen. This Clippers team was fucking.
What more do you need?
Yeah, how do you fuck that up? And I feel like there's less movement in basketball coaches.
Oh, yeah.
Because basketball coaches, once you get fired, are kind of done. Like football, like once you get fired, you become a coordinator for a few years, and then you do good, and then you become a head coach again.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
You don't see a lot of head coaches like going somewhere else and being a like assistant. That don't happen too often. Yeah.
I think the only one I can really think of is Ty Lue.
And then even then he's back at it. You know, you don't stay. You're not gonna stay assistant for long. You know.
Mhm. NBA assistants are like the most like irrelevant, like
Yeah.
some of the most irrelevant coaches in sports.
I feel like you're just like it's almost like the G League to the NBA. You know. Like,
Yeah.
Like everyone's you're trying to get to head coach, but like
Yeah, it's like,
chances that you
hey,
get
go
it.
take notes for Doc.
Unless you're like. Even Popovich's assistants I don't even know who it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that girl.
Well, that was like I think that was like a further down assistant. I don't even think that was like the main assistant.
Oh,
Like,
shit.
was it? The fact that I'm trying to say is like even like a popular coach is like assistant coach isn't very known. You know.
Well, like in baseball, when the coach gets fired, they usually pick from like the hitting coach, the pitching coach, the
Yeah.
bench manager. But in basketball, it seems like they just pick from old players.
Yeah.
Like in baseball, that rarely happens.
Mm.
Even football, that rarely happens.
Never.
But in football, it's just like, oh, that guy was a good coordinator. Like it seems like each coordinator in the Super Bowl every year, at least two of them
good
leave.
offer, yeah. Same thing in college football.
Yeah,
Like fucking
Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, it's like dude, Alabama goes to the championship almost every other year. It's like, oh, this team wants their defensive coordinator, this team wants their special teams coordinator, this team wants their offensive coordinator. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Lane Kiffin
Everyone
gets
gets a
fired
chance.
from SC, then he goes to Bama, great offense coordinator. All right, bye.
And that's what's so impressive, like that, like Nick Saban's like able to keep this up, even though he's fucking losing his assistants every year, left and right. You know what I'm saying? They're all
That's one thing I've never thought of because
bad.
it's hard to create like a system. Like
And
with
one was kind of like BS about that. Or kind of like, I mean, it's kind of annoying. Is that how a lot of these college coaches like already like say like they already like commit to being the head coach for another team, and they still have like the full college football players ahead of them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you're like a junior or sophomore and you're like, man, fuck you, coach. Like you're leaving me next year. You know?
yeah, it's like you got to give your all for me. Well, why? Because you're not for me.
Right, and then like that was almost like it's like not like too big a controversy, but that year they lost to Alabama. Alabama lost to Clemson.
Yeah.
Against Deshaun Watson.
Mhm.
Like their defense like kind of collapsed, and the defense coordinator left that year. And they're like, was he kind of like a whatever? Like,
Yeah, we're just kind of bullshitting it.
Yeah,
Just
like-
ready for the big payday.
yeah, you really don't want to. You like really hope that they're giving it all, but at the same time, it's just like they have bigger things on their mind almost.
Well, they have those rules like, oh, no tampering. But if fucking
Yeah.
like say the athletic director, like say you're a DC at Alabama,
Mhm.
say the athletic director from like a smaller school, like say Kent State,
Yeah.
is like, or not Kent State, Kansas State,
Mhm.
was like, hey man, like got to keep this under wraps, but we're gonna offer you this much. Like, don't say anything. You're not gonna go tell the fucking NCAA committee
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
then that job's not there for you.
Yeah.
So you just say like, yo, okay, like I'll take this job,
Yeah.
and then when we can talk, we'll talk, and I'll sign a fucking contract. Because like I doubt they're looking through these homies' texts
Right.
and shit, emails, Instagram DMs, bro.
I don't know. It's tough.
What about college basketball? It seems like their coaches stay there for longer.
It seems like if you're a great coach or even like a good coach, if you have like some success, it's gonna be real hard. I mean, Calipari for Kentucky, he's off to the worst start since 1926, right?
Like the schools?
The schools, Kentucky's worst start since 1926. Like they're 1-5, right?
Holy
And
shit!
like he doesn't get fired. Like it's not, that won't even be in the question. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Well, how many natties has he won too?
I think so. Like John Wall, Anthony Davis, and I think
DeMarcus
Marcus
Cousins.
Cousins. I think he's won. But he's like has such like good like success in the conference, you know, and like he's like his team's always competing, you know.
Mhm.
As long, in college basketball, especially if you're competing,
Honestly, if you get in the tournament every year, who gives a
yeah,
shit?
and like because it's not like Michigan, you know what I'm saying? Where like you have to be good at it or to get an even chance in the college football playoffs. Like you said, to get yourself into the fucking tournament.
You literally-
even better. The top 64 teams in the country
In college
get a
football,
chance.
it's you have to be one of the top 4 teams in the country to get a chance to play for a championship.
Yeah.
In basketball, you have to be one of the top 64 in the
Yeah.
country to get a
Exactly.
chance to play for the championship.
Exactly. And it's like, as long as you beat the teams you should, you'll be fine. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? As long
and I
as-
feel like in basketball, there's more games.
like, look at Meister Shevsky, dude. He's
Yeah.
been a coach for Duke for 40 years. You know what I'm saying, right? He hasn't, like, I mean, I'm going to say only, but it's still kind of a lot. He has 5 national championships, right?
Hmm.
But it's like, you've been coach for 40 years and, like, kind of only won 5?
You win one every 8 years.
That's like,
That doesn't seem like that much.
he's dubbed the greatest shit ever, like, the greatest college basketball
Mr.
coach.
fucking wins it all.
Yeah, I mean, like the Mount Rushmore, like you know what I'm saying, the face of college basketball coaches, the number one in wins,
Uh-huh.
and he won 5 in 40
Honestly, bro,
years.
I like low key don't pay attention to college basketball. I thought he would have won like 10 or
Yeah, he was
15.
huge, yeah.
Well, how they talk about him on ESPN? Oh, Mike Krzyzewski, fucking.
Well, he has like 13 Final Fours, but it's like that's almost like goes against him.
yeah, why don't you win?
Yeah, like you have 13 Final Fours and only 5 natties, like,
That is interesting.
and it's like it's not like this guy's like just a good like NFL coach where he's like getting guys that like someone else is drafting. This dude's like recruiting the best ballers on the planet.
yeah, they had
He
a.
was, like,
Did they win that year? They had Zion Reddish and.
No, they almost got upset like UCF with Taco Fall. I think and then like
They didn't win that year?
they didn't win that year. No, they lost to Michigan State. But it's just like they had the number 1, 2, and 3 recruit of that class, and RJ Barrett,
Cam Reddish,
and Zion. And you're the 1, 2, 3 starting in your fucking.
Dude, that would be like an NBA team having Luka, LeBron, and Giannis.
Like, how do you lose?
How do you fuck that
How do
up?
you lose? Yeah, and it's just like it's college basketball too. It's like
And like in football, if you're like, oh, they have the top 3 recruits, but there's still 19 other starters. In basketball, there's only 2 other starters.
Right. And it's just like those other 2 starters, they're not like scrubs. You know, those are those are still 4 or 5 star recruits too.
Because the thing with college basketball is like there's no salary cap.
Yeah.
Like in the NBA, like if somehow you got the top 3 players, the rest of the players would have to be on the league minimum.
Yeah.
But in college basketball, it's like, oh, we'll give you a bunch of free
like,
shit.
Yeah, Duke always has every year. They always have top 3, top 5 recruiting class.
That's crazy,
So
man.
I don't know. That's my spell.
I would think, fuck, man. I would think Krzyzewski would have won
Yeah,
like
a lot
8
more.
to 10. Does he have the most?
No, John Wood for UCLA has like 12.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, the Wooden Award.
Yeah.
Honestly,
So-
I don't follow college basketball enough, but I mean, just like watching 30 for 30s and stuff, he's had all these legendary players, dude.
I mean, you look at, I feel like, because all 5 of those Duke teams, obviously, I mean, you look at all those national championship teams, they have like 2 or 3 NBA guys. You know what I'm saying? Great players.
Well, I remember, didn't they win 2 with Leitner and Grant Hill?
I think so. And Grant Hill, probably the greatest player in Duke history.
Yeah.
And anyways, when I was getting at, it's like, look at Jim Valvano's, like, when you won that one NC State versus Houston against Clyde.
Clyde the
Clyde the
Glide.
Glide and Hakeem. Like, it's the greatest upset in NCAA history, you know?
Uh-huh.
And I think that was his only one he won. It's like that was so, I feel like that's almost
That
like,
one means more.
that one national championship almost means more than like all of Coach K's almost, weird, you know what I'm saying?
Well, like honestly, this like I'm not saying it's easy to win like championships, but
Yeah.
if you have like you said the top 3 to 5 recruiting class every year, you're kind of supposed to.
Yeah,
Like-
you're supposed to be there.
Like if you're top 4 in recruiting, you should be in the Final 4 every year because those are the talents of the guys you have. So if you don't get them to that point, it's a failure
And
of
then
coaching.
even like those recruits from the previous year don't go to the NBA, you still have the top 3 class as sophomores. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So you just get better and better. It's like the rich keeps getting richer, and it's just like
that's one thing that kind of sucks with college basketball is like, or college sports in general, is like, why do guys go to places? Because the facilities and the gear, right?
right.
And you don't get money for facilities and gear unless you win, but you don't win unless you get the guys good enough.
Yeah,
But you can't get the guys good enough unless you have the facilities and the gear.
exactly.
So that's why these, like, in basketball, it's always kind of a shuffle between who.
Mhm.
But in football,
Yeah,
it's like, in football, it's literally been Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State. Every college
Yeah.
football playoff, they're in it. And then you've had these randos like Washington was in it that year, and they got the shit beat out of them. But it's just a revolving door.
yeah,
I mean, even college like greatness in the past, like Miami, Nebraska, like it's all these big programs, man. I wish somehow they could,
even now a little more.
like somehow incentivize guys to go to smaller schools.
Yeah,
But you can't do that because you can't pay them.
yeah. No, it's definitely tricky.
All right, who's that dude?
Oh, before we check out here,
Before we check out, who's that dude?
that dude is Najee Harris versus Florida.
Oh, he's-
5 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's God.
That's ridiculous. I think 4 of them were receiving.
Yeah, he's Jesus
They're, like,
Christ.
in like the first half, it's like bad.
Think he'll be a good NFL player?
Oh yeah, I think he'll translate real well. I think
Yeah.
he'll be like I don't know if he'll be Derrick Henry great right away at least,
Mhm.
but I think he'll be better than like Mark Ingram. I think he'll be.
Yeah,
up
he's
there.
more of a tough guy.
Oh yeah,
He's not like a lot of these running backs that have come up lately are more like
Yeah.
finesse. Like,
yeah, no, he's
they're just like
he's
kind
a
of heavier
bulldozer.
slot receivers.
And that's the thing about Najee Harris. You can like catch. Obviously, as we saw
Mhm.
here, like he can catch. He's big. He can run. Like he can do it all.
That's one thing with those big bruiser guys. They
Yeah.
usually don't catch and run
right.
well.
And he's proven that he can.
Who do you think should take this guy?
Any
Dude.
team that needs a running back.
Seahawks.
Oh,
Oh
I think
my
that'd be big time.
God.
I mean, and I think they have a good chance because I don't think like usually running backs unless they're like in like I mean obviously he's like really good, but it's weird. Like you don't see a lot of running backs go like
They're not
early
drafted
first-
very
they don't
high.
get early first round love, you know.
Why do you think that is? You think it's because their careers are so short?
Yeah, I think that too, and like they're prone to injury. Maybe
Mhm.
it's just like I feel like they're not. It's almost like unless you need them, they're not like important. You know what I'm saying? Unless you like that and like you really really need.
I think
them.
it's the last piece to a championship
Yeah.
team because their
It's like-
careers are so short. So like if you have like a 5-year rebuild
Mm.
and like say a running back's like prime only lasts like 4 years,
Yeah.
then like
Yeah.
you're getting the back half of it.
Right. So I think like he'll go like mid first round, late first round, early second.
'Cause they say
back
when-
in the back half, you know.
When running backs get to like 30, people think they're old,
Right.
right? So say you draft a guy who's a junior or senior, he's 22, 23.
Yeah.
So you only have a couple years,
yeah,
bro.
He's a senior, I'm pretty sure.
So he's probably 23,
I think he's 22 actually.
22, young senior.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
We'll see.
But
The
they
CX would be a good pick though.
they always kind of say to stay away from senior running backs because they've had so many touches in their college career.
That's true.
Because they say like,
That's why the numbers are good.
yeah,
Like a guy like ETN, you know, who has like the record, all the fucking records for ACC. Been there
yeah,
like 5 years. I like even as great as he is, he won't go until like the second, third round.
yeah. I would stay away from like Jonathan Taylor. They were saying like
Yeah.
to be weary of him because like he'll be great for like say an NFL prime is like, or fuck, what the fuck am I saying? Say like an NFL's like great running back years, or like say a running back has 6 great years.
Yeah.
So since Taylor has pretty much gotten enough carries to count for like 2 extra years from all these other guys,
Right.
then he'd have a 4-year NFL
Right.
prime.
Exactly.
And maybe he's like has the body and like the wherewithal to withstand it. But running backs are so interchangeable now.
Right.
All right, last category, bro. Shut the fuck up. Kyrie is just bitching about talking to the media again, and like I get it. Like you're like, oh, I'm here to play ball. Like I don't want to talk to the media. I get it. Like you want to focus, but that's still part of your job.
Yeah. It's just like
And like, because they don't want to talk to fucking Joe Harris and Spencer Dinwiddie. Like
yeah.
you and Katie were brought in to change this franchise, so they want to talk to you.
Exactly. If you want to be the face of the franchise, you gotta
gotta be the voice of the
represent, you gotta
franchise.
represent. Exactly.
Like Marshawn Lynch, obviously he didn't want to,
Yeah, if he's go up there and do that.
but he kind of made a game out of it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like at least like I don't know. I think it's kind of disrespectful in a way.
It's almost like disrespecting is like the organization too. It makes them look bad. It gives like a bad name on them.
Right, because they don't just draft Kyrie as a baller.
Or pick him up. Yeah.
They draft. They don't sign him just as a baller.
Mhm.
They sign him to be like the face of the franchise.
You know, like the personality.
Yeah,
I mean, they're getting too much of that actually.
yeah. But this comes back to my shut the fuck up because I disagree with good old Chucky Bark.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley pretty much told him like, Kyrie, you went to a semester of college. You're not that smart.
Like,
Just
yeah, you play basketball for a living.
yeah, you dribble a ball, man.
Talk
Just shut up, talk
Yeah.
ball with the
You act
media.
like you're the smartest person in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, Kyrie's probably a very intelligent guy, but this is part of your fucking job. Like Dennis Rodman said in The Last Dance, he's like, I play basketball for free, but I would take all the money to do all this shit. When he was talking to the media,
Mhm.
obviously he hated it, but he
Yeah.
still did it.
Yeah.
Like you saw with Michael Jordan. Every day they would be like, "Oh, you're
And it's
coming
just
back
like,
to the
dude,
Bulls.
what
You come
makes-
back to the
like,
Bulls."
Kyrie, like, what makes you think you're better than like? Dude, people have been talking to the media since like the eight, like since media's been around in the NBA. It's like,
Yeah.
what makes you so special and all those different players to not
Mhm.
talk to them? You know,
What makes you so different?
they've been doing that forever. Why can't you just be
Low
like
key,
everyone else?
With Kyrie, all this crazy shit he says, bro, I don't even feel like he means half of it. I feel like he just wants to be out there.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
He's
It's
just
too much.
he's just a ringleader of his own fucking circus. That's why the Nets aren't winning shit, bro.
I agree.
Him and KD are gonna clash.
All right.
All right. We'll catch you guys later. We love you. Thank you for all the support. Fuck Kyrie, bro. I hate that guy. My first shut the fuck up was about Kyrie.